Hey everyone, have you ever come across one single line of text that seems to mean three completely different things, and all of them are somehow right? Well, today we're going to put on our detective hats because we're diving deep into the fascinating puzzle of Psalm 68, verse 19. Let's dive in. So, right off the bat, here's the mystery I'm talking about. Just look at three of the most popular, most respected Bible translations out there. The ESV says, God bears us up. The NIV says he bears our burdens, and the King James says he loadeth us with benefits. Now, these aren't just slightly different word choices. We're talking about three totally different ideas here.
So, you got to be asking, right? How is this even possible? Did someone mess up? Is it a mistake in the translation? The answer, and this is the really cool part, is actually no. This isn't an error at all. It's a puzzle, and it's a puzzle we're going to solve together by going back to the original language. And what's so wild about this is that this whole complex situation doesn't come from some long, confusing paragraph. Nope. The entire mystery, it all hinges on one single, incredibly powerful Hebrew word. This is it. This is our culprit right here. Ya'amaslanu. The whole mystery is packed right into this one term. And this is the word that translators have looked at and come away with three different, but as we'll see, equally valid ideas. So let's break down why.
Okay, so at its core, this word comes from the root amas. And it's super simple, really. It just means to load or to carry a heavy load. You know, it's a very physical, very straightforward kind of verb. But, and this is the key, in poetry, that kind of simplicity is like a superpower. It lets the word do all sorts of cool things. So, how can one little word be such a shapeshifter? Well, a couple of things are going on. First, you got to remember that original biblical Hebrew didn't have written vowels at all. Readers just had to figure them out from the context. Plus, Hebrew poetry is all about compression. It's kind of like literary shorthand, often leaving out obvious words just to pack a bigger punch. So this isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's designed to be dense with meaning.
All right, so we've got the key. Let's go ahead and unlock these three doors, one by one. We're going to see exactly how the translators got to where they did and, what's really behind each of these readings.
First up, we've got the interpretation you'll find in versions like the ESV. And the idea here is super direct. God carries us. Linguistically, this is pretty straightforward. God is the one doing the action, the carrying, and us is the thing being carried. Simple as that. And the whole point theologically is about our own frailty, right? It's about how God literally holds us up when we feel like we just can't stand on our own 2 feet. Okay, interpretation number 2. This is the one many of us know from the NIV. He daily bears our burdens. And you can hear it right away, can't you? The focus just shifted. It's not about him carrying us anymore, but about him carrying the stuff that's weighing us down. So how did they get that from the same word? Well, in this case, translators see amos not as the action to carry, but as the thing being carried, the burden itself. So now the verse is saying God carries our load. And the vibe here is all about relief. It's about him stepping in and literally taking that crushing weight right off your shoulders. All right, now for our third and final piece of the puzzle. This one is actually the oldest reading, the one you'll find in the King James Version. And at first, it sounds like it comes completely out of left field. He daily loadeth us with benefits. This translation just leans into that root verb to load and asks a really simple question. Okay, load us with what? And since the whole psalm is this big, joyful song of praise, the ancient translators figured, well, it's got to be something good. So they understood it to mean blessings and gifts and all this great stuff. In this view, God isn't just a rescuer, he's a generous provider, actively showering us with what we need. So let's just pause for a second. We've got 3 totally different meanings, and they're all grammatically possible. And this is the moment where we stop seeing this as a problem to be solved and start seeing it for what it truly is, an absolute masterpiece of poetry. I want you to think about it like this. The original Hebrew word is like a single beam of pure white light. And the different translations, they're like that light hitting a prism and splitting into a rainbow of beautiful, distinct colors. See, they're not fighting each other. They're all different facets of the same, bigger, richer truth. And it was all done on purpose. Because when you put them all back together, you get this incredible 360-degree view of God's daily care. Think about it. When you're weak,
he carries you. When you're burdened, he carries your load. And when you're empty, he loads you up with his provision. It's absolutely stunning. All of that packed into one single word. And look, this is way more than just a neat little language lesson, right? The real magic here, the real power, is how this ancient piece of poetry can speak so directly to you and me, right now in our actual lives.
Because what this verse does with its incredible three-in-one meaning is it meets you right where you're at on any given day. This isn't some generic one-size-fits-all promise. No, it's alive. It changes to fit exactly what you need to hear.
So if today you are just bone tired, so exhausted you feel like you can't even take one more step, then the truth for you is that he bears you up. He's literally carrying you.
Or maybe you're just completely overwhelmed. You feel like you're being crushed under the weight of it all. Stress, anxiety, grief, whatever it is. The truth for you today is that he lifts your burden. He wants to take that weight for you.
And maybe you just feel empty, like you're running on fumes and you've got nothing left to give. Well, the truth for you is that he is the one who fills you up. He's the one who loads you with benefits, giving you exactly what you need right when you need it.
So when we come back to where we started, you can see it now, can't you? This verse was never mistranslated. It's richly translated. What looked like a problem, these three different meanings, is actually the whole point. It's the verse's greatest superpower, showing us this deep, intentional, three-dimensional picture of what God's help really looks like. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to chew on, doesn't it? What if the most powerful truths in life aren't the simple, flat, easy-to-define ones? What if they're the ones that are layered and deep and so rich that you can just keep coming back to them and always find something new? Just something to think about. Thanks so much for digging into this with me.